Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011119111.
All right, Jeff and Jeremy here. It's KZOZ. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock on the 6th day of January 6th.
J6.
What will happen today? Today is the day they're supposed to certify the win for Donald Trump. If you remember 4 years ago, this is when they were doing it for Joe Biden, and the protesters showed up at the Capitol, and oh my God, we haven't heard about it.
We haven't stopped, yeah.
Today is also take your Christmas tree down today. So is yours down? Did we talk about this? No.
Got it by one day.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about this.
I got it by one day.
And it's also kicks off week 19 of the NFL season. After a pretty interesting week 18. I don't know. I hadn't watched football in a couple of weeks because of family, and I had a chance to watch it yesterday, and I enjoyed some of it. I didn't see the Kansas City game. I was like, what's the point, right? I mean, they're sitting everybody. Denver, I know. I know Leslie's happy.
They shut them out.
The Seahawks, they beat the bench of the Rams. So who cares? They're both 10-7, but the Seahawks are chokers, so they don't move on.
This is what I hate about football. Okay, is I don't know if you knew about yesterday's game, but listen. As a Seahawks fan, I'm not happy with how the season went. Okay.
No, of course not.
Like, they won 10 games, and it's like, okay, you won 10 games, but you got a lot of gimmies. There were a lot of situations when you faced teams with decimated rosters. You can't feel good about many of the 10 wins that you got. You really can't. When you look at the 10 wins, you're like, okay, like the Rams win yesterday. The Niners win was a good win. The Niners win at Levi Stadium was a good win at the time, but then looking back on it now and seeing how the Niners finished out the season, maybe it wasn't that big of a win. But that's probably the best quality win.
What? Who did they play?
Who?
The Niners.
No. I'm talking about the Seahawks, when the Seahawks beat the Niners.
Oh,
that was a quality win. Okay. And the Niners lost on yesterday, but they sat everybody too because their season's over. But
holy cow, Arizona put up 47 points.
Yeah. Going into the game yesterday with the Rams and the Seahawks, like the Rams had a chance with Jimmy Garoppolo to win the game. And walking away from it, Geno Smith got $6 million. He hit certain landmarks in that game against the second string throughout the whole game, barely won against the Rams, and he got $6 million in contract incentives laid upon him. $2 million for like touchdowns, $2 million for most career wins, $2 million for something else. I forget what it was. This minutia contract add-on stuff. But he made $6 million yesterday beating a second string team. In the Los Angeles
that's bonus, Rams. By the way. That's not just his salary.
No, that's not his salary. Yeah, he made $6 in incentive or $6 million in incentives, and it's like, dude, are you serious? Against the
it's
second
so funny you talked
team,
about this
team?
Because you talk about how much money these players are making, and everybody's talking about contract extensions and bonuses and things like that. And we're watching a game, and then something comes on for, feeding the homeless or taking care of the homeless or giving them blankets or something like that. And my buddy looks at me and he goes, "Are you kidding me? We just heard this guy's making $32 million a year. And all these guys are making all this money in the NFL and all this money. And then they're begging us to help out the homeless. Why don't they help out the homeless?" And I'm like, well, I'm sure they do their part, but you're right. I see the situation.
And I'm sure Geno Smith is a nice guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the quality of the season. Like, do you see that Thursday night game before or after Christmas with the Bears?
I told you I didn't watch any football during
the Bears and the Seahawks? A 6-3 rowdy dow? I mean, come on.
But we can sit here and talk about Seahawks all day. I don't think people really care that much about the Seahawks, and why would you? They're terrible, and we've got drunk Uncle, Geno at the wheel, and it's like, is he going to get us home? It's like every week, is he going to make it? And for the most part, he's made it most. I mean, he's hit a few park cars and everything. We had to walk a few times, but other than that, we made it.
Do you
home.
think that was a good
The problem
move?
is it's very stressful when you have that to look forward to every week. And I'm sure other people can relate.
Do you think it was a good move on behalf of the Rams to sit everybody yesterday, give everybody a week of rest? And
why would you want to take a chance on getting somebody
because
hurt
you have to
that couldn't
take
play
on
in the playoffs?
Arguably the second best team in the NFC, because now you have to play the Vikings because of what happened last night, and you would have played the Washington Commanders prior to that. So if you would have won, if you would have put your starters out there, beat the Seahawks, you would have played the Commanders. But now you're playing the Vikings at home, which is a team that they beat earlier this year. But there was a questionable call at the end of the game that kind of gave them the victory. And who's playing better ball right now, the Rams or the Vikings? That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game this week.
I'm pretty sure the Rams are, after what I saw last night. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown.
No, they looked
Detroit's
bad.
defense is on fire. To see the guy after the game, it looks like Michael Bolton. He's got a weird name. I forget what it is. Defensive end. Guy's a badass. Pretty incredible. How about Jamar Gibbs? Is he not going to be, if he continues this, 4 touchdowns last night, 170 yards. Is he not going to be the number 1 overall draft pick in fantasy football?
Oh God, I don't know. I haven't even thought about that.
Well, because I'm done. So my season ended a long time.
Do you have the number 1 overall pick?
No, I don't. But I might have the number 2.
Oh, okay.
Or the number 3,
depending on whatever the person.
That's what happens when you suck.
Who won?
Let's see here. Congratulations, Ben Hansen, saving my season. He got 2 out of 3 right, so he gets $100 to go to the poorhouse and $100 off his next service to be right there, heating and air. He went with Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Houston, missing the Pittsburgh win, but getting the Detroit and Houston. So I go 2 and 3. You go 2 and 3. Patrick goes 2 and 3. Leslie goes 3 and 0 in the expert picks.
Good for Leslie.
And now sits out in front. Tied with Patrick at 30
she's opening
and
up a lead. She's opening up a lead at this point.
You and I are well, we're back a few, but you and I are 1 game apart. You're 1 game ahead.
I just want to say, for once, to Ben Hansen, the initials BH stand for winner today instead of something else.
Coming up, we'll hear from Pat Benatar, and we're also going to congratulate our Week 18
Ben's a nice guy.
MVP.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm sure Ben's a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he's not a BH. Let's
Is
just put it that way.
Is it better than a BJ? I'm not really sure. But when we come back, his name is Mike Quick. We're going to play your song. Congratulations and being our winner this week in the Red Zone.
93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Mike Quick, nice job, brother. And Rocky Mountain Way today, Joe Walsh. We'll hear
Thanks,
you
Mike.
3 times a day, Joe Walsh.
How do you do nothing
With
but
Kurt
bangers?
and Suzanne.
How do you do nothing but bangers with Joe Walsh? You can't.
Well, we play that song every time. 'Cause that's the
Every
closest to a
day,
banger
every
we
day
have.
for the next week.
I'm sure there's like, what do they call those? Like remixes, or they call them
Joe Walsh's mashups.
mashups.
Somebody's got to do. Somebody's
the extended remix of Rocky Mountain Way.
Life's Been Good by like Little John and the East Side Boys.
I got one for you. Let's see if we can expand out a little bit and find some Joe Walsh, collabs where he collabed with somebody else. And
Well, how
maybe-
about with a
maybe
band
it'll
called
have
the
more juice.
Eagles? That might work.
Well, there you go. Okay, that's what we're going to do.
But the problem is, it's the Eagles. So we have 2.
Life in the fast lane.
Yeah, Life in the Fast Lane and
Those shoes. I know it's a little slow, but those shoes is a pretty good song.
no, not those shoes.
Do it, those shoes.
Already gone in Life in the Fast Lane. That's it.
Already gone is overplayed, but that's fine. But anyways, Mike, listen, we don't like your choice for music, but we like the fact that you got 14 points.
Just when you
and
make
you're playing the red zone, man. Good luck to you winning that $1,000 in that TV and soundbar.
To kick off the first week of the year, you make our job super hard, Mike, by being so good at a football prognosticator in a week where football sucked. Week 18 is the worst week in the
sucked
National
is a
Football
strong
League.
word.
What happened yesterday? The only thing to look forward to was last night's Sunday night game, and it was garbage. It was
okay. Well, guess
hot
what?
Garbage.
Now we get to look forward to this week, where it's really going to matter. There is 6 games on the docket, and remember the points. Do they double? What do they do?
They add up to 18, I believe. So
we have 6 games.
yeah, so three apiece.
So 3 points apiece. All right. Really important you make your picks and you get them right because each game is not just worth a point now, it's worth 3. So good luck to you all. Keep playing. We are giving away $1,000 in cash thanks to our friends at Be Right There Heating and Air and the Poorhouse in Paso Robles. Step up to help make that happen every year. Weekly, you can win $25 to go to the Poorhouse and that free inspection. It's valued like $150 from Be Right There. Calltheb.com.
Santa Cruz Cindy just wrote in. She said she got 1 right this week. 1 right in the
That's not true. Cindy, you got more than
you
one.
should get a prize for that. That's hard to do, Cindy.
Yeah. Wow. If that's true, that is a rough one. I wouldn't tell your friends. I would keep that one inside. Keep that one
I got to try that once. I got to try to actually miss every game and document it. I can't do it now. We're going to have to wait till next year. But actually document, like pick like a week 3 or week 4. Okay, I'm gonna try to lose every single one this week to see if I can do it because they throw out your worst weeks, right? So that would be considered your worst week. I want to try to do it because I bet you it's near impossible.
By the way, saw some great comedy over the weekend. Was hanging out with friends on Friday. We were having a fire outside, and then we got some rain. So we went inside. I don't know how we started. Oh, Nate Bargatze. I'm like, hey, you guys want to watch some Nate Bargatze? So we saw Nate Bargatze, one of his recent stand-ups that he does. And, very family friendly. And then my buddy comes in. He goes, well, let's watch Shane Gillis. Do you know who Shane Gillis is?
He's a Bud Light guy, right?
Yes, he's a comedian and probably I laughed so hard. Very, very, very funny guy. And then, of course, we had to how do you top Shane Gillis? Daniel Tosh from 10 years ago. So I don't know if it topped him, but it was almost more inappropriate, but probably not. So anyways, that was, we didn't talk about our weekends much. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was fine. Obviously
you didn't watch much football.
It was all takedown of Christmas stuff. Redo the garage, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Love that. I love doing that.
I did a lot of work this weekend too. We were splitting wood and stacking wood and moving wood around. So I feel better today. Like I actually got off my fat ass and I did something.
Yeah, I do.
I sweat a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel great about it.
You feel a little bit. The core's probably feeling a little bit.
Yeah, that treadmill that I had the guy deliver down there.
Don't even need it now, right?
Listen, I hate that thing, but I love going outside and working. So I actually felt pretty good about it.
Hey, stay busy.
My buddy, we were using his backhoe we just load all the wood. He's got a big yard scoop in it. So you can load all the split wood with a log. Of course, we're splitting everything with machines, log splitter, backhoe to move it, but we still have to stack it. Your back hurts. So it was a good weekend.
I was sitting on my roof on yesterday afternoon because I have to take down Christmas lights. It is the most nerve-wracking thing. The taking down is not as easy, not as hard as the putting up. But my kids are playing basketball against each other, and I realize my daughter is a lot like you when it comes to basketball. She's too aggressive. So
she's aggressive.
They're playing one-on-one.
She's taller.
We have a little wheel down basketball hoop that you could set up in the cul-de-sac, and I push it out there, and she is taller than my son. She's got more vert than my son, and but he's a big body for his age, so he can hang. But there was a time where he was dribbling and he used his arm and he kind of pushed off on her as he was going. Yeah. And she got frustrated and angry. I mean, his was legal. Hers, she goes to full on.
She put him in a headlock?
Like bear hug. I'm like, whoa. You can't do that. She's getting ready to play basketball, right? For the first time. I'm like, you can't, I don't know what they're teaching you at basketball practice. You can't go at somebody like that. Well, he pushed off with his arm. I was like, yeah, but that was while he had the dribble. He's fine.
The girl's gonna go up. So the girl's gonna block her out, knock her down. She's gonna get up and pop somebody.
She's 11, so she goes, "You always take his side," and she runs inside crying.
Oh yeah. Oh, no.
And I'm on the roof, and I'm refereeing a basketball match, a one-on-one basketball match for the whole neighborhood to hear.
You're not counseling the crying 11-year-old because you're on the roof. You're like, God,
I can't get down off this thing and say, hey, listen, we need
if
to
you
have
got
a
down
talk.
off the roof every time she got upset as 11,
I would have died. Yes, I would have died. Once you
you
get
would
up
have
there,
fallen and broken your
once
neck.
you get up there, you're up there for good. You get one chance up, one chance down.
What is your son doing this whole time that she's losing her?
Hands in the air, like I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, I saw the whole thing transpire. And listen, she was in the wrong.
He wasn't smack talking.
No,
I'm actually surprised they play so well together. At that, now that they're getting older, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
she's a very aggressive basketball player. She does the thing where she dribbles and she has control of the dribble, but then when she wants to make a drive, she loses control of the dribble because it comes up here.
Well, she's new. You said she hasn't played.
No, yeah, I mean,
She'll learn.
I don't know if she will.
What are you talking about? You're a basketball player.
Her soccer.
Come on, just have a little bit more
She's,
faith in
the
her.
aggressiveness that she has is good for soccer. It's not good for basketball.
Oh, God. You and your elite basketball BS that you talk. You've been saying this to me for years. You're just never going to be a
Listen,
basketball
I've
player.
said this before.
'Cause you were a
and
wrestler.
I believe
Well, that's not true.
I think Michael Scott said it in an episode of The Office too. Like football is more like rock and roll, metal in your face, crash, bams, bang. Basketball is like jazz. Okay, there's a fluidity to the game.
Oh, and he was. I saw him play basketball. So taking your advice from Michael Scott seems like
You and
the
my
best
daughter.
advice you could take.
You and my daughter aren't basketball. You're not jazz fans.
I like to make people bleed. If they're not bleeding, then we're not having fun.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Open at 6 a.m. on 93.3 KZZ.
Cognitive test, or just performing at your mental best.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear the term cognitive test?
I don't know, like match cards or something like
No, it was Joe Biden because it was talked about during his entire presidency.
that. I'm sorry. I was thinking about where they show you that picture of like some drawing and you're supposed to tell them what it looks like.
Oh, that's a
tell you if you're a
Rorschach
psychopath?
That's a Rorschach test. It's an ink,
Okay.
the ink spot.
Yes,
And they're
yes.
like-
It looks like a butterfly and somebody's like, oh,
Yeah.
someone's getting eaten by a lion or something.
Yeah. And then the second thing I think of is you saying that there's a trick to a cognitive test, thinking that knowing you and knowing your way of cheating through certain things in life, that you have some kind of a hack, that you have a hack
No,
for
not a
tricking,
cheater. Don't say
tricking the cognitive test system.
I have systems, but not cheating. No, this is actually something from ScienceDirect.com. The New York Post did a story on it. Apparently, if you do a number 2 right before you take a cognitive test, you'll perform better.
Helps
Matter of
clear your
fact,
mind?
The science behind it is the body can spend more energy on cognitive skills and than
Well, this is good for
focusing
any
on
tests.
other things that their body needs to focus on.
Or any situation.
This is good. This is good for work. Like if I'm a manager, I'm like, all right, everybody, come on in. All right, let's do the morning meeting. Great, everybody, go right now. Get in there,
Don't
do your
that here.
thing,
Not enough capacity.
and then come back and I need you working at your full potential.
Not enough capacity, my friend. You have a line at the bathroom. Nobody likes a line at the bathroom.
100% of the participants perform better after having a laxative-induced bowel movement, and most of them did better after having.
Oh,
a
so they're
natural.
saying to actually do something to.
Not necessarily.
add
They're
a
just saying for
catalyst to
this
it.
for their study, they had to give some people a laxative. Other people were like, "Hey, I'm ready to go right now." So, I mean, there is something about. I mean, I don't think it's related, but there's something about when you do it and you're like, "Wow, I feel pounds lighter." Like how much you're just ready to go. Like you just feel so good. It's almost like when you get a haircut or when your car gets washed and you feel like I swear that thing drives. Man, the engine
Yeah, it
sounds
does-
better,
it does
the
feel better when
acceleration's
your
better.
car gets
And all I did was get it washed, but mentally it's a thing.
Yeah, when you
There you go. Next time
when
you
you
need to-
detail your car, you're like, yeah, this is looking
Exactly.
good.
Right.
I
So,
told you I
know.
sold my van over the weekend, and
No, you didn't. You just
Oh.
said that you you were busy.
Well, yeah,
showing
I mean,
or
I
something.
told you I had like 10 inquiries for it. So I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
was
I
gonna
figured
sell.
you were going to sell it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. How did
Yeah,
it go? Good?
yeah, but I cleaned it out really good. And like when you have kids, you find things in all kinds of nook and crannies of a
Right.
car that has huge amount of square footage and seats to shove stuff underneath. So I spent a good couple hours cleaning it out, detailing it, making sure everything looked good. I was thinking, why am I doing this? I'm just selling the damn car. Does the cleanliness of the car affect the price of the car?
To a certain extent,
I think
yes.
so.
I mean,
I think so.
I'm not expecting what you sold that thing for like under $5,000. So I'm not expecting anything to be, super clean. But if I'm paying for it, it'd be great if it went through a car wash and the floor was vacuumed.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like, gum stuck to the ceiling of the.
Yes, that kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff.
The egregious
It doesn't
stuff.
have to be detailed. I'm not expecting it to not have any.
But as I was driving to meet the guy who bought it,
you were thinking,
I was like, I don't want to get rid of this. It's a good shape now. It doesn't got.
What color's the new van?
600,
is it the same color?
600 broken crayons on it. No.
Different color, huh?
Sure.
Different color interior.
I'm not telling you about my van because you blab the details of my van to everyone, and then people come up to
Who cares? What's it matter? You're proud of your van. You were talking about how your van had electric doors and your tinted windows, and you're a badass.
I'm proud of
Uber
this
driver.
van as well, I would imagine.
I don't think I gave anything away about your van. I think your van's stupid, but no, it's fine.
Why do you think
For
my
what it
van?
is, it's
What do you
great.
think of my van? is
I would
stupid?
never own. I would never own a van.
Why
like
not?
that. Well, because what would I do with it?
Loads to the
things-
dump.
Can't pull anything with it. You can't haul
furniture.
anything with it.
You can pull.
Yeah,
you
you
can pull
treat your
some.
van like a truck. Just go get a truck. They have these, like my truck. It's an extended cab.
Yeah.
I can get 5 people in my truck easy.
It's not comfortable though.
It's super comfortable. That's where you're wrong.
Those
They make
seats in the back.
Those extended cabs.
Do those
it's
seats in the
really
back
a lot of room
recline
now.
all the way down to where you could take a nap?
Oh, is that what you're worried about? Is
Yeah.
somebody taking a nap in your car?
The kids like to. We take a lot of road trips. We do a lot of road trips.
I wasn't able to recline my seat as a kid.
It's when the kids are. Well,
What do you think
that
this
doesn't
is?
mean-
No, most kids aren't able to recline their seat. What is this, first class? I mean, get the hell out of here.
Listen, here's the thing: is just because you didn't have the ability to do it when you were a kid doesn't mean that there shouldn't.
Like kids today are
things
soft
progress.
because they're not tough.
You,
Right? They
you
have
probably
games
could
and
say the
iPads,
same
and
thing.
they don't do anything on their own. All they do is look at these things, and they get reclining seats. We had to sit up. We had to lean on our brother.
I think you are a very angry old man because you're mad
really.
because things
I'm
like
a great-
AI have
I'm
come
very
around, and you could have used AI very well in college. You wouldn't have to have leaned
I
on
love
your
AI.
girlfriend.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm proud of my upbringing. It was rough, and I'm glad it made me who I am.
It was
today.
real rough when your wife
put up with
wrote your
loser in a minivan
media law
with reclining
essay.
back seats. Got an A. Got an A.
You use the resources that were at your hand, and that's what I'm
still-
saying.
and I'm right here in
that-
media, so-
and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing as I am
Jeremy
using
Tuff,
the resources that I have to make my life a little bit easier. Because when we do like 10, 12-hour drives, I'm like, hey, just lay down and take a nap instead of having to pull over and get a hotel room.
Oh my God! My dad would have pulled over, got his right hand out of his pocket, and there would have been no hotel room. You're soft. You're soft, bro.
Are you? That's
Just remember, you're teaching these kids life lessons. You have to prepare them for the world because the world is not as nice and as soft as their dad. The world is tough. They need to be ready.
Are you saying that you actually are short enough to take a nap in your dad's right hand?
Well, I'm glad I'm getting through to you. God forbid.
93.3 KZOZ rocks the 805.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011111911.